You must have never seen such a prison. Exquisite decoration, furniture and home appliances are available. Every day is steak and seafood. There are also several sets of prison clothes. All you need to do here is play games and take a bath every day. Even girlfriends are assigned. David is a serial killer. He killed a dozen innocent women at random. When the judge asked David what he had to say at the end, the indifferent David only said one thing: I am hungry. Let's finish it quickly. Finally, the court sentenced him to life imprisonment. Hearing this result, David laughed on the spot. This made the families of the victims angry. David was put in a prison dedicated to heavy prisoners. When the prison guard opened the door, David was stunned. Soft queen bed, fitness equipment, sofa and TV, everything in prison. It's not like a prison. It's like a luxury hotel. The refrigerator is full of all kinds of drinks, and a spacious and comfortable bathroom. It all made David feel that something was wrong. The next day, David woke up from bed. The first thing he saw was the steak on the table. There is a small note on the steak table. Tell him it's made for him by a 5-star chef. Is there still this treatment in prison? David didn't hesitate and poured it directly into the trash can. But at noon, the prison guard brought him lobster with red wine. David poured the lobster directly into the trash can again. He felt abnormal. This meal is absolutely poisonous. What he didn't expect was, the prison guard ate the lobster in the garbage can into his stomach. David was completely dumbfounded. From then on, he believed everything here. He began to eat and drink in it every day. He plays games when he is bored, then take a bubble bath. Until this day, every day, the prison even assigned him a beautiful girlfriend. David was wondering. He asked the prison guard, doubtfully, do you know what crime I committed? I am a serial murderer. The CO said of course I knew, but this is the arrangement of the superior. Then he left. But suspicious David thinks it must be a trap. He pressed the woman for what purpose she had. A prison guard arrived in time to stun him. When David woke up and found himself locked in bed, next to him is still the woman. The woman tearfully said to David she was jailed for killing her husband by a loss of hand. Facing a woman's misfortune, David felt sympathy. In this way, David gradually adapted to the woman in front of him. After that, this woman ate with him at the same table, watch movies together, eat well and live well. There is also a beautiful woman to accompany. David didn't even dare to think about it before. It's a woman's birthday. David stayed up for several nights and carved gifts for women himself. Everything is natural. See the two come together. The prison guard closed the door with a dazed smile. The next day, the prison guard told them, if they want, the prison can hold a wedding for them. So the two got married in prison. They had a very loving life. Soon the woman was pregnant with David's child. Since then, David cleans and takes care of his wife every day. He went from a murderer to a good man. That's it. The two have lived happily together for more than half a year. Until this day. The woman will give birth soon. David anxiously watched his wife enter the delivery room. A few hours passed. The child was born smoothly. When the nurse handed the child over to David, he never thought how a child could be so cute. But just then, a bad news came to David's ears. His wife died suddenly on the operating table. He looked at his wife and cried. At this moment, David finally realized the pain of life and death for his relatives. This prison guard is holding David's child. Let David cheer up and not be depressed. David tearfully took the child, but the prison guard just left. The child cried all the time. He hurriedly called the prison guard, but no one answered. The picture turns. David appears on the monitor screen. A crowd of people sat in front of the screen. They are all families of the victims. It turned out that all this was carefully planned, just to make David feel the feeling of losing his closest relatives. And this woman is actually a robot. She has no feelings and will not die. This child is also a robot. At the request of family members, the prison guard pressed a red button. At the same time, the child also lost his breath. This made David completely collapsed. He cried loudly. At last, he fainted from crying. Soon after, David woke up. At this time, he was tied to the bed. The first thing he said was, "Let me die." But the prison guard told him, this is the highest human rights prison. The purpose is to make the prisoner live a painful life, to experience the feelings of the victims' families. David finally understood. The most painful thing in the world is not death, but a painful life.